person could have, let's say, a red mark or a scratch. Welcome to the Problem Solver today. How's everyone doing today? Today we're live. It's David Kohlmeyer, the Problem Solver. Just making sure we get on Facebook, social media, Instagram, YouTube, making sure that we go live everywhere. It's Tuesday, it's 11 o'clock. Just making sure that we get out there to everybody right now. I'm doing some quick posts here. If you want to go to the Problem Solver basically and go live, again, YouTube, Instagram. We also have Go Live Vegas app as well, where we're basically live today. Again, if you guys have questions, concerns for the Problem Solver today, it is live, so you can call live in order to basically help people in Las Vegas, Clark County, Henderson, North Las Vegas, and there are people that are listening all over the United States as well. Again, we have a Go Live Vegas app, which basically is downloadable, and you can take it on the go and listen to the podcast, and there's other programs as well in Go Live Vegas. It's a digital network. I also have basically a progressive web app called the problemsolver.vegas. The problemsolver.vegas basically is a progressive web app. Does not need any type of battery life or memory, so it's very easy, works off the web. And basically with that being said, you can click here, like you see on the screen there, we basically have where it says problems, YouTube, there's a new section called homeless, which we'll talk about today. If someone needs to be bailed out, we have resources that they can click on, some merchandise, events, a lot of things basically going on in this section right here. It's resources. There are a lot of different PDFs that I get from different nonprofits in Las Vegas, and they share it with me in order to basically share it to you guys. My goal is to basically get this nonprofit information out there, and my goal basically is to share what other nonprofits are basically doing in order to basically get the word out there. There's a lot of people that do different things, different nonprofits, different community leaders. I just feel that a lot of people don't know what's going on. So my thing is by taking all the resources, putting it up on the app, basically you'll be able to go to the app in regards to finding whatever resource that you need, whether it's a job, whether it's housing, if you're homeless, whatever the problem may be, if there's food distribution, vaccination shots, I mean, you name it, it's on the app. We got it basically set up every single week. We're adding stuff in general. One thing, if you don't mind, we're going to go to the app real quick. I just want to show a brand new thing that I set up. There's a section on the app, and it basically, if we click on it, it says homeless. And what that homeless section basically is if you see somebody basically that's homeless, or there's a camp or something like that, you can click on the tab where it says basically homeless, and you could actually upload a photo of the location. And you could type in, let's say, if you see 2 or 3 people, what they're wearing and so on. But it is something brand new that we basically started in order to basically help get information to the different nonprofits that deal with homeless. So we had a few weeks ago here, we had Shine a Light on the on broadcasting here. And Shine a Light helps people go through the tunnels. And this past weekend, I actually went out on Saturday, went deep into the tunnels with Shine a Light Foundation. We actually had 100 bags that were made by the Richard Harris Law Firm, and inside the bags there were all type of necessity items. I mean, there was a nail clipper, there was a blanket, there was a shirt, there was deodorant. I mean, you name it, it was inside this bag, and we were handing out the bags. But as a retired police officer, I did go into the tunnels previously, but I never went this deep. So I went with these the nonprofit Shine a Light, which they go out every Saturday at 8 o'clock, and I urge anybody that wants to basically help or kind of even get the experience. I mean, not like we're not trying to make this like a famous situation, but I mean, people that are under these tunnels, you just wouldn't believe what exists there. People, maybe a good 10, 15 minutes into a tunnel, where you see like the wash, and then you make like a left-hand turn, you're in some unusual, tunnel, and there are people living there. There's dogs, there's animals, there's people that are cooking with propane tanks. I mean, it was a very unusual situation, and you realize that you're just lucky if you have a house and you have shelter, basically, to be in, when you see something like this, people living in these conditions. And what Shine a Light basically does is they're going out to basically try to get people to, when they feel it's right, to get out to go into different programs or housing, or if they need counseling. I mean, it's truly amazing. I mean, I was walking in the tunnel, pitch black, until I got to certain locations where people were living. But with that being said, this homeless tab that we have in the Problem Solver app is something new that I basically developed with my friend Greg Eller, who basically runs, has a company that does progressive web apps. And it's really simple. You just take a picture, add the information. It does GPS coordinates of the location, and when you press submit, really quick, it will go to Shine a Light or maybe Help Us Southern Nevada in order to basically get community outreach to people that are homeless. So it's something brand new. We got a news release going out this week. We're going to try to get people to add the ProblemSolver.Vegas app to their home screen, start using it to help the homeless. I mean, this is just one of the things I'm doing to try to give back. Just as if you don't know, I am a retired police officer. I was NYPD in Brooklyn North in the 7-3 precinct for about 3 years. I was MTA police for 9 months, New York State Police during 9/11. Worked 9/11 as well, came out here after. In February, I was a police officer in Henderson for 13 years. I did community policing for 6 years, and basically, a total of 17 years in law enforcement. And basically, I want to give back. So I basically, for the last 6 years, I've been retired from policing, but I've been working in law firms to help people, whether it's criminal defense, personal injury, accidents, family law, helping people basically solve their problems and using the lawyers to basically, when they got to go to court. I'm not an attorney, so the lawyers are going to go to court to basically fight for people's rights and to basically get them the help they need because they have a problem and they need to solve it. So I act as a liaison a lot of times from clients or from friends and family members to get them the help they need. And when they have a problem, I try to use different resources or refer them to the right place. And then if they need an attorney, then I'll refer them to an attorney that I believe in, that I've vetted myself, that I think that will do a good job. Sometimes it may not be a happy match, so I'm going to play a little bit of matchmaker with lawyers, with people that basically need some help. So again, that's the whole point of the Problem Solver, is to help people solve problems. No problem too small, no problem too big. And we are bringing in guests every single week. And if you basically believe that you can help solve a problem, it could be anything. You could be a personal injury attorney, a criminal defense attorney. You could be working for a foundation, a nonprofit, helping people in the community. Today, we have an insurance agent that basically does a supplemental insurance, life and health insurance. I mean, things that we don't think of in general that I want to basically bring on here to talk about, because again, maybe it's not a topic or conversation in your home, and I think it's important to have this conversation because you never know. A lot of times with insurance, you're paying for the what if, and sad to say, one day something could what if happen, and you want to be prepared and be insured and protected. So today we'll have an insurance agent to talk about life and health insurance and how that's important. My phone number, I could always be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 702-400-7474. Again, 400-7474. I've had that number for the last 19 years in Las Vegas. You can call, you can text. I'm available. I answer that phone as if you were calling 911, especially if it's 3 in the morning. I pick up the phone, I answer questions and problems, and believe it or not, my phone does ring. Sounds unusual. What the hell is a problem solver, right? But basically, again, people are calling me. They need some help. And, you can't just call the police for everything, which, again, 911 for the police, 311 for the police, which is non-emergency, but they're not going to answer every single question out there. 211, which is United Way, and then you got me, the problem solver, at 400-7474 for any problem or legal issue. Please keep in touch with me, and I can help you out. Again, the ProblemSolver.Vegas app, there'll be a QR code on your screen. You can basically just wave your camera over it. It will then take you to the actual app, add it to your home screen with a click of a button, and I'm with you. I'm there to help. If you want to meet at your home, in an office, for a cup of coffee, coffee's on me. So whatever you want to do to meet up, it's fine by me. That just rhymed. So I guess I'm a poet today. Any questions or concerns, again, please call me, and I want to help you out. This week, basically, people ask me, what kind of problems do people call in? This week, I was thinking about some of the people that just called in. So I got a phone call this morning as well. I'll share just real quickly 3 things, basically. Let's talk about a few things people call me in. First of all, apartments. Because of this whole housing shortage situation, basically apartments, someone called the other day, they said all the Siegel suites are basically, they're all rented out. Like there's no room, there's no space. There was one space, when they went there, it was gone. So it just seems like the housing market's kind of crazy right now in regards to rentals and buying. It just seemed like it really totally switched. And I saw something online where maybe we just didn't build enough homes over the last 10 years or something. I don't know. But it's definitely a crazy time. So I've been referring some people to some real estate property managers that I deal with. So I thank them for trying to help get housing for apartments for the family the other day that called me. Had another person with a dog bite. I mean, I wish I could show the picture, but it's a horrible dog bite. Person was trying to protect their own dog, jumped on the dog a little bit to protect them. And long story short, the person basically got on the face, a bit on the leg, and so on, really bad, needed some stitches. Referred them over to the Richard Harris Law Firm, and I appreciate them helping out, immediately, basically getting on the phone. Chris Henderson, one of the attorneys over there, jumped on the phone to call. A lot of questions, concerns, right? Person needed stitches, needed some help, was upset about the whole situation. So I do appreciate Chris Henderson over at the Richard Harris Law Firm basically helping out, I do refer to them because they've been around for a long time, for about 40 years. So trying to get people help, and they jump on the phone. Have another person basically front end damage with an accident. Rideshare driver was confused about what to do. Helped them a little bit with the police report situation, getting them information, insurance. They started talking about dealing with the insurance adjusters and loss of wages. So I referred them over to one of the attorneys as well. Someone just called this morning actually saying that they have something, they want to sell a home, and the person's been living there for 9 years. They want to evict them. Person won't leave. I basically, it sounded like a little bit of an older couple, but they mentioned they had a realtor. So I mentioned if you have a good realtor, that realtor should guide you through the process to get that person evicted. And I was going to refer them to a realtor, but they had one, so I didn't need to do that. I said, tell your realtor that you need some help to evict the person, especially if they're trying to sell the home. But I actually got that phone call this morning. And then I had someone else that basically was having a thyroid problem, not a doctor at all, but I have friends and family that are pharmacists. And basically needed certain medicine, and I guess it was a certain name brand for thyroid medicine. And, one thing I want to share with you is that if you need medicine and they're out at one store, you may have to call 10, 15 stores. You have to take some action in life in order to basically get what you need. You call 10 stores or ask one, hopefully you get one good pharmacy manager or ask to speak to the supervisor. Maybe they can look up what store has the medication. So my recommendation is you got to take action. You got to make some phone calls, especially if you become lethargic and you're tired and you need a certain medicine. Get on the phone and basically make some phone calls, or friends and family do it. Or if you know what, you can call me personally and I'll do it. Just to basically get some people help. I'll call 10 Walmarts for you. If that's what you need, I will do it. Last thing was a parking ticket. Referred it over to Ticket Busters and appreciate their help, basically to get that taken care of by someone that called in as well. To the Problem Solver, I mentioned charity every single month. We're in the month of May 2021. Last month we were helping Shine a Light, which we talked about a few times. This month, basically going to be working with the Susan G. Komen Foundation, helping people with cancer. I've dealt with them many years back. With that being said, I normally sell the Problem Solver t-shirt that I'm wearing. Money of that will go towards Susan G. Komen. It's approximately $14 of every shirt. No money's made off the shirt that I currently wear. Money will basically go to Susan G. Komen. So if you want to buy the shirt, you can go to the problemsolver.vegas app and basically click on the shirt. Money will go towards the foundation, and the shirt will go to you. And then the three things that I wanted to share with you, resources of the week. Real simple, real estate. If you're buying or renting, I have a few different realtors and property managers that are helping people. You can call 702-333-HOME, which is 333-4663, 333-4663, which is 333-HOME. It's a vanity number that you can call. It basically for realtors or property managers that you need. If you need help with buying, selling, or renting a place, that is the main phone number that's basically set up to basically get your real estate needs taken care of. And if you call there, mention the Problem Solver, and they'll make sure they'll take care of you. In regards to the attorneys, we are working with Las Vegas Legal Network, which is a network of attorneys that basically have different attorneys in their network in order to help people. So whatever attorney you basically need help with, whether it's probate or wills, trust and estates, family law, criminal defense, personal injury, accidents, you name it, patent law, we have attorneys basically in a network that basically will help people. And so again, any legal needs, and I'm always going to try to basically get you the right representation for whatever need or problem you have. The last thing is vaccinations. I actually went for my shot the other day, the first shot. Luckily, I was feeling okay. I was moving my arm around a little bit, basically to get the circulation going in general. With that basically being said, I'm going for my second shot shortly. It's up to you if you take the shot or not. The only thing I'll share with you, I'm working with several different pharmacists locally at Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens. If you want to get in, you need the shot, let me know. And then basically I can make it happen. I've gotten a few phone calls. I've heard, believe it or not, I have several people call me from Mexico. They cannot get the shot, and they want to come here to the United States. They will fly in from Mexico just to get the shot. I don't know what's going on over there. But the bottom line is that people call me from Mexico to get this vaccination shot. So anyway, just to share that with you. As we go to a quick break, I want to thank some of the sponsors that we have. We have Richard Harris Law Firm, Ticket Busters, The Defenders, Law Tigers, We also have this week Universal Motor Cars, Real Vegas Magazine, and basically if you're looking to be a sponsor, you want to help out, a lot of times the sponsors are also helping with the different nonprofits that I'm dealing with or certain events coming up. We also have an event coming up tomorrow as well, basically locally. And if you're interested, you can go to the Problem Solver Facebook page for information. We're going to start having weekly events where you can network and meet people. And if you're a business owner, I'm trying to basically get business going a little bit more where you can network and you basically bring network together in order to basically bring business back, kind of the comeback of Vegas after COVID-19. With that being said, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. And when we get back, we're going to be talking with an insurance specialist, and we'll get some questions answered about insurance, supplemental insurance, things you probably never talk about at home. So we'll be back in a quick minute. Thank you.
Another day in Nevada, and we're lucky enough to call it home. The world knows us for our entertainment, but the best part about living here is the everyday people of our communities. And when one of us gets injured in an accident, well, I guess you could say it's personal. We fight for the people of Nevada every day. The Richard Harris Law Firm at 444-4444, just in case.
I recommend the defenders because they say what they're going to do and they do what they say.
You're the client, they're working for you, the attorney is your attorney.
I am very impressed with the relationship the Defenders has with their clients, and I hope to continue working with them.
It's not just signing people up, getting clients. It's we're going to take care of your problems, and they care about people.
Neither one of us are giving a handout to those people so that they could take advantage, but both of us are giving them that massive hand up.
From the moment I came into the office, everyone working at the front desk was super nice and just made me feel like I was at home.
When you call, you know that they're working for you and that they want the best for you.
Welcome back to the Problem Solver. Thanks for joining again. We have a special guest today. We have Jason Reed with Insurance by Red. He is a insurance agent who basically is helping people with supplemental insurance. Jason, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So I appreciate you coming on the show. I know your time is valuable, and the bottom line is we want to basically get some information out to, we have audio listeners, and we also have viewers that basically, so it is a live show. So what I'd like for you to do is just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how you got involved in insurance.
Okay. Yeah, I'm originally from Washington State. I came here to Vegas about 7 years ago looking for some sunshine. Moved here from the Seattle area, and probably everybody knows how much it rains there. The year before we left, there was about 250 days of rain that year, and we needed some sunshine in our lives. So ended up here. Most of my working career, I managed security companies, plainclothes catching shoplifters in stores, and then uniformed, armed, unarmed security type companies. After 20 years, I got a little burnt out in that industry, but still wanted to help people. Mm-hmm. So I was looking for something else to where I could help people, but in a little more positive way.
Got it.
And so I looked at the insurance industry here in Vegas and started my education on that, and got through the education. And last December, I got started in the insurance industry, and then from there, I kind of worked with a broker and kind of felt out where I thought I could help the most, and I landed on the supplemental insurance space.
That's your main focus right now, is the supplemental insurance?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Why is that your passion? Like, why are you so passionate about that? Like, why did you do car insurance or,
Right, yeah. So I think because of my experience managing companies in the past, I saw how it could not only help the employees, but how it can really help small businesses promote a good environment for their employees. So I felt like that it was a twofold. It helped two people at the same time.
Got it. Okay, so tell me how it works in regards to, right now you're doing life and health insurance, right?
I'm licensed in life and health, but I primarily just do the supplemental insurance.
The supplemental, okay.
Yep.
All right, so tell me, so people I always think these words like supplemental, like what does supplemental mean?
Right.
Like what does it mean for insurance? Like as a police officer, I used to do a supplemental report, which was like an additional report. So what does supplemental mean in regards to insurance?
So same thing, right? Like when you're doing your report writing, when you add a supplemental, you're giving a little more information. You're giving a little more to support your documentation. With insurance, the supplemental things help you really with things like short-term disability. That helps you protect your paycheck. Basically, we call that paycheck protection. So if you're out for a long time and you have no income coming in, that money comes to you. Standardized or major medical or life insurance, you get life insurance or your family gets the life insurance. You don't get anything really out of it until you're deceased, right? And then with major medical, they pay the providers for their service, but you get no income. So something with the supplemental insurance, we can offer short-term disability, and it can cover about 65% of what your normal pay is.
So what's the most common supplemental? So like if you meet with me and you evaluate my situation, I'm working, let's just say I'm doing construction, which is like more dangerous. Like what would you recommend? Yeah,
so again, I would, my top two are the short-term disability, so that we're protecting your income. And then the second would be accident protection. And those things, so most of the major medicals have a deductible, and some of them, especially nowadays with it being so expensive, have a very large deductible. With supplemental insurance, with an accident policy, it can it pays you directly. It does not pay the providers. So if there's costs associated with your major medical, like deductibles, it can help cover some of the dollars from the deductible.
So short-term disability is the number one thing, right?
I always recommend it. Yeah.
So let's go back. So let's break it down really simple. So I'm doing construction. I purchase short-term disability.
Yeah.
So I get into an accident and I get injured now.
Yeah.
Right. And I've been working for 2-3 years in the construction business, and I'm injured in my leg and I cannot work. Take it from there.
Right. So most of the policies for an accident, as you're talking about, cover you pretty much right away. So as soon as your doctor says he cannot go back to work, they're going to start paying you on a daily basis, direct deposit. It's going to go right into your checking account, and you can get that whatever the policy is.
Okay.
And usually they cover you for up to 3 months to 6 months. So it depends on what type of policy you choose.
So 3 to 6 months, I could basically be compensated, and you're saying approximately 65% of my salary?
Approximately, yep. Yeah.
So what happens after 3 to 6 months? That makes another policy? That's long-term disability? Is that
yeah. Then we're starting to talk about long-term disability.
Do you also do long-term?
I have the resources. I can get somebody to them, just like you. I have a network, and I can definitely get them to anything they need.
So 3 to 6 months, short-term disability. God forbid something went past 6 months.
Correct.
Then you really need long-term disability insurance, right?
Correct.
I think most people, even my wife, when she was doing pharmacy, she has the same thing, with insurance. And I think she was always concerned. The problem is you always feel bad, right? You pay insurance, like car insurance, and you never know when you're going to get into an accident. And you're always paying for that what if, right?
Right.
But I always feel it hurts you make that payment every single month. Sometimes it's more expensive than others, depending upon, right, what policy you get or how advanced and I'm sure you help people decide which policies to get, right?
Absolutely.
But I feel like every month you make that payment and you're not getting anything for it. Again, it's the whole what if thing, right? Like, what if I get into an accident?
It really is, yeah.
So, but I guess if something happens, she's protected and she's insured.
Correct. Yeah. Yep.
So do you normally sit down? So can someone meet with you and do you go to someone's home? Do you meet at the office?
Yeah. I have access to about 3 offices here in town, and they're all in different parts of town. One's in Henderson, one's in the North End. One is in the Spring Valley area. Can meet at my house. I'll come to your house. I'll meet you at a coffee shop. Whatever we need to do to get you where you need to be.
Got it.
I'll be there.
I remember as a child with my parents, they had somebody. It was my brother's teacher that was doing insurance on the side, and he came over to the house when we were late at night, and he came over and he was probably talking about different insurance, and I think I have probably from back in the day just regular term insurance policy in general,
Yep.
But I always remember as a young kid, who's this guy coming over to the house? He was an insurance agent. I think it's nice when you come to someone's home, basically, because it's more one-on-one, and you're spending time at someone's home to get to know what's going on in their home, because not everybody may need that insurance, or if they can't afford it, right? So
right.
How do you normally evaluate? You come to my home, I got 3 kids, and it's me and my wife, and tell me what you do really to evaluate, because there's probably so many different insurance plans or policies. They all cost different money.
Right. So yeah, we start off by kind of maybe working on a budget. What do you think you can afford, and why, so we understand the whole process. I don't come at this from a sales standpoint. I come from a let's help people get into the right products. We don't want to get you into a product that you're going to be angry with in 3 months, have buyer's remorse. So that's the biggest part, sitting down, figuring out what your budget is, and then seeing what's the most important to you. Again, I always focus on the short-term disability and the accident products. Now, if you can spend a little bit more, or let's say your family, for example, my wife's family has a huge history of cancer. Mm-hmm. Most of her family members pass from some form of cancer. Okay. So I've written a cancer policy for my wife. Now that's a little more expensive than some of the other policies, but still you're still looking at like $50 a month compared to a major medical. It would cost you $200-300 a month. So again, it's supplementing, and again, the supplemental insurance, it pays you directly. Okay. It's not paying the provider, so it helps you with the. In a cancer policy, it helps you. It'll even help you with transportation, say, and they're not on a network like most of the major medicals. So if you decide you want to go to LA or to a specialty cancer shop, it helps you. It helps with some of those costs.
Okay. You mentioned, so like if another family member had skin cancer, and you know that, I'm sure you'll go through a bunch of questions. Yeah. Then it's more likely that maybe you want to get certain type of insurance because the family is prone to cancer.
Correct.
So what do you find when you meet with different people recently? What do you find that a lot of people are prone of? Is it like, do you hear them talk about it?
I don't know. I don't think that I've have one specific thing they talk about. I go in most of the time discussing the short-term disability and the accidents, because those are things that happen on a regular basis. The cancer thing is something at the end, depending on their budget and what they need. That's something I come to at the end, but it's more of a let's call it a premium product compared to I need this right now product. With short-term disability and accident, those are things that happen on a daily basis. Lots of statistics out there. How many people do that? And the other thing is there's also hospital indemnity, like in a hospital indemnity product, where if you get put into for any reason, it'll start paying you per day for being in the hospital. And remember, a lot of these supplemental benefits, most of these supplemental benefits stack. So so what that means is if you have all the policies, say you go into the hospital and you have a cancer policy, you have a hospital indemnity policy, you have short-term disability, all three of those policies are going to pay you what they would pay you on the policy. It's not like major medical, where if you have two major medicals, say your spouse's and yours, that they're going to fight over who pays for what. On the supplemental side, they all three policies would pay you.
So basically, again, someone injured, accident, they can't work, they submit a claim, and then basically, how is it with the approval? Is it pretty quick, or?
Typically within 48 hours.
Okay.
So, and you do it online. There's an app. Most of them have an app. There's basically three major contenders out there for the supplemental space. I won't go into their names, but there's three big ones, and then a few of the other insurance companies trickle them in with their other products. So, yeah, it just depends on what you have.
So, is there any like tips or strategies in regards to short-term disability? Like, how expensive would you say it is, like for individual or family? Or is there any like?
Yeah, typically you're looking at about $30 a month per policy.
Per policy.
So, yeah.
So it could be like me and my wife. Like $60 a month or something like that.
It'd still be right around $30 to $45, somewhere in there. For when you add spouses, it's like other insurance where it's a little less for the second person. But
okay.
Yeah.
And then what about kids? Short-term disability, people really doing it with their children?
On the short-term disability, I don't know that they do it with their. I have not seen it with children. Some of the cancer policies they get children added. Some of the hospital indemnity, the accident protection, especially sport kids that are very athletic. You know, a story. One of my district managers for one of these products. Her husband took a tumble down an escalator at one of the casinos here in town, and at the same time, her daughter chipped a tooth on a nut or something, and she had accident policies on both of them, and both of those policies paid out for both of those items. So it can be useful.
You know, I think that I guess depending upon what people do for work and where they're at and how dangerous it may be in general. But if you could afford to do it, you know, it probably pays to have proper insurance, just like with a car. I mean, even myself over the years, I don't think I really truly understood car insurance,
right?
Where they have that UIM or the med pay, where basically it helps pay for medical bills, or for you to be having money coming to you if you get injured because of the other person, like a hit and run. They don't have insurance. You're basically, you know, it's a problem, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to really truly know and really assess. And I think probably, what do you think, like every 6 months or a year to reassess it? Like, when do people normally review?
Once a year.
Once a year. So reevaluate?
Yeah, we reevaluate once a year. And then for most of these, you can, if you're in a group, a business group, most of them, as long as the manager who's in charge of the account permits you to, you know, get rid of it in the middle of the year, that's fine. Or you can wait for open enrollment. We do open enrollment once a year.
What do you think about people that are underinsured that basically don't have the short-term disability insurance, especially like these days? I don't know. I guess the economic time is a little bit unusual. Like, what's your thoughts by not having the insurance? People say, I don't need that. I'm not going to get hurt.
Yeah, you get some of that. I mean, I kind of laughed. I actually just set up a new account here recently with a business owner here in town, and she decided she wanted to do something for her employees. She couldn't afford major medical because she's a small business, but she wanted to be able to give them the option on these other products, and she decided she would pay $30 a month per employee. And there was still one employee who just would not sign up for the product. I don't know why. I thought it was kind of funny, even with it being free. So sometimes people just don't understand the benefit behind it. But I can't stress enough, if you're in a major accident and you need to be out of work, especially if you're a lower income folks and you don't have a big savings account, this can, or you're the primary provider in your family, a short-term disability product can keep your family out of debt, can keep your family from struggling. We like to say it'll protect you from having to put the jar on the counter in the store or the GoFundMe accounts. It keeps you square and really protects you from those things.
I was just thinking in my mind, which is kind of funny, having like a jar that says, you know, please help me pay for my supplemental insurance plan. You know,
right.
like, you know. To be prepared for the future. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, right.
You know, the truth is, even if it's, some people say like $1 a day or something like that, just have the extra insurance for the what if. And I think, I was about to say, if someone loses their job, like over the last year when people have lost their jobs, is that a time where people should stop that insurance? You know, I mean...
maybe save some money on the short-term disability, of course. Most of these things are portable, so once you're part of a group, you can keep that insurance forever, but if you get rid of it, then you have to wait to be back in another group that offers it. So there's a little bit of balance there. If you think you're going to go back to that company, yeah, maybe it's time to pause it for a minute. I probably would say that for the accident protection, no, don't do it.
Because you could always get into an accident.
Yeah, because you can always get into an accident, and again, you're already probably struggling because of the layoff or what have you, okay. And you want to make sure you can protect yourself.
So that's interesting. So the short term, and we're gonna go to a break in a quick minute, but when we come back, we'll talk about the accident insurance. So it's short term disability and then just accident.
There's all kinds, yeah, and then there's hospital indemnity. There's like cancer. There's ICE. There's intensive care.
Okay, so when we come back from break, we'll talk about those other items. But I think no matter what, I mean, I guess it's interesting. I mean, not that you really want to stop any insurance because you never know, right? You can go back to work tomorrow And then the problem with it is you forget that you don't have that insurance. Something happens to you. So, I mean, if it's a few dollars a month you could afford to do it, I mean, it probably pays to have it. And probably, I guess, diversifying what insurance that you have to cover yourself, right? So
Absolutely, yep.
If you want to spend like $100 a month or $150 for the family, probably diversify so at least that you have something. Or if things change economically, maybe just lower it a little bit, right, to make the monthly payment a little bit more, more reasonable if you're going through a difficult financial time.
The other thing is you might be able to, switch it depending on your economic impact. You might be able to switch to something for major medical into like Medicare. It may not cover the same things that your employer provided insurance did, but now you can supplement it with these little things that'll cost you just a little bit less money. So it's a good transition.
So when we come back, we'll do a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about the accident stuff. I have some funny stories about that when I was a police officer.
Right. Let me clarify. I said Medicare is Medicaid. Sorry about that.
Medicaid?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll be back in a quick minute. We'll talk about accidents. Thanks for joining the Problem Solver. We'll be back in a quick second. Thank you.
Universal Motor Cars, your one-stop shop for all things auto, service, body repair, collision repair, free towing with repair, all under one roof. State-of-the-art paint equipment and facilities, trained certified technicians, lifetime warranty on paint. Universal Motor Cars accepts all insurance. Over 10 years in business. LVAC members receive 10% off labor. Your one-stop shop for all things auto.
Meet Joe. Joe's a very busy guy. He's always driving from work to meet friends. And sometimes Joe's in a hurry and doesn't follow all the rules. Joe just got a traffic ticket. Traffic tickets are a major hassle. You have to take time off work to go to court and stand in long lines. A couple days later, Joe saw his friend Matt. Joe tells Matt about his traffic ticket troubles. Another traffic ticket? Just call Ticket Busters. Ticket Busters? What's Ticket Busters? Ticket Busters is the quick and easy traffic ticket solution with licensed attorneys. Ticket Busters went right to work for Joe's ticket. Ticket Busters did all the work, saving Joe time and stress. A few weeks later, Joe receives a call from Ticket Busters and his traffic ticket has been resolved with no points, no traffic school, and no insurance increase. Ticket Busters helped Joe bust his ticket, and Ticket Busters can help you too. Go to ticketbusters.com, download our app, or call 702-666-6666.
Welcome back to the Problem Solver. How are you today? Welcome again. We are back with Jason Reed with Insurance by Red. Again, Jason, thanks for joining us and
thanks for having me
and sharing all this great information. Again, this stuff is not spoken about probably in most homes. We're talking about supplemental insurance, which I believe everybody needs to evaluate every single year. What insurance they need? Probably car insurance, life insurance, short-term disability insurance, accident insurance, cancer insurance that you just don't know. And someone like yourself basically is helping people really solve their problems when they have the problem when something happens.
Well, I'm getting in front of it, so I'm helping them solve the problem before they get to the problem. So
that's a good one. We have to come instead of the problem solver, you stopping problems.
You're
the stopping problem solver.
The problem wall, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
So, quick question for you: why? I know that you're passionate about helping people, and you're kind of giving back as well by being an agent and helping people and going to their homes, which just going to someone's home, is a big step because a lot of people feel weird and uncomfortable going to maybe to an insurance agency and they feel they're uneducated about the different products. So when I think when you go to their own home, it breaks it down. They feel more comfortable. So I actually thank you for even doing that for people because I know a lot of insurance agents won't do that, and
I'm lucky. I work, with a network of agents from that can supply just about any kind of insurance product, and most of them are pretty good about it as well. But yeah, I mean, we want to be able to get out there and talk to folks. I did a house call not too long ago, and it ended up being really good for me, which is nice. But I got to help them out right in their home.
So tell me about accident protection insurance as a supplemental insurance plan. I'll share a quick story. When I was a police officer, there was always this guy. I was an insurance agent in general like that. He was a nice guy, but I always laugh. He would say, if you break your arm, you get $250. If you break your leg, you get $500. If you break your nose, you got $350. You got this, and he's going down all these body parts, in general. And I always thought it was funny. and in his pocket he had like a make believe. Oh, he had real money actually. He had money in his pocket. So he was like paying. I mean, it was the funniest thing. You know, I'm this cop in uniform, and his insurance agent is selling me insurance, but like everything I had to do was not a good situation. Right? I had to break something in order to get the money out of his pocket. You know, and I think I paid for many years. And I always felt there was something, and I'm not sure if it still exists. Maybe some plans have it where you put in the money, but if you never use it, you get the money back.
Yeah,
is that like an old plan? You familiar with that?
You know, before I was in the insurance agency, I think I remember, or in insurance industry, I think I remember that. But currently, I don't know of any product that does that. Yeah,
I always remember when I was like, the goal was to retire and to get like a checkbook back of all the money that I didn't spend. You know, if I had insurance, and it just. At the end, I never used it in general. I mean, I'm lucky that I never used it.
Yeah.
Or some people didn't want to use the insurance when they had the supplemental insurance because they felt their rates may go up and stuff like that. And the one thing I'll share with you about insurance, in my personal opinion, everyone always says, oh, I don't want to use my insurance because my rates are going to go up. So no one uses the insurance. They pay the insurance and they never use the insurance. So why have insurance, right? If you're always afraid of it going up, use the insurance if you need it. You know what I'm saying? If it's legitimately that you need the insurance, use it. Like, don't think about like, oh, I don't want my rate to go up. I mean, because otherwise, I mean, the funny thing is people just never use insurance. They pay for it, and then they're just scared that their rate's going to go up.
Yeah, and I would tell you one of the benefits to supplemental insurance, that's not really how it works. So most of the time, if you're in a group or if you have a direct policy, either way, those prices never change. And once you're in, you're in. Mm-hmm. As products change, you know, we might try to transition you into a better product in the same category, but yeah, most of the time those prices stay the same whether you use it or not. And some of them even like the cancer policy we were talking about earlier. They even have some preventative benefits in it. So the cancer policy comes with like it'll pay for like either one mammogram or a pap smear a year. So those are good benefits for our female clientele, and so yeah. So I mean, it's intended to use.
Mm-hmm. So tell us about the accident protection insurance. Tell us about that supplemental. It's a separate insurance plan.
So your example is actually great. It sounds funny. People not in the insurance industry probably think that's just really terrible that you pay me per body part, but it really does work that way. So. Most of the time in an accident policy it depends on if it's your leg, your arm, your nose. They pay you per item. And
I always thought it was funny.
I mean, it really it is funny. It really is funny when you think about it. But it's also based off of the cost of care for that body part. Okay. So that it can supplement what your major medical doesn't pay for.
So just to recap, if you have current insurance, the insurance is taking care of you and the insurance, for getting medical attention. But this accident protection insurance is actually paying you for like your injury.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's two different things. I think people just don't know. So the supplemental insurance is to pay you for that injury, like an insurance claim, right? That's what it is, an insurance claim for an accident, for an injury, depending upon what happened to you. And then the insurance that you have, whether it's Medicaid, Medicare, or regular private insurance, that's paying for your medical treatment.
Correct. Yep. That's exactly.
And I think a lot of people just don't understand that when people say supplemental insurance, that there's just differences of what you have. You want medical insurance, and you also want accident protection insurance. And I guess what I'll say is this: it sounds funny to say to get paid out when you basically have like an injury,
right?
But I think that money is supposed to comfort you. Right, like healing. You know, like let's say you broke a leg.
Yeah.
You get an extra $600 or $1,000. You know, maybe using that for takeout food, right? Because you're by yourself and you can't drive, and you need to do Postmates or Uber Eats or something like that to the home. So
Correct.
I think that money is supposed to really supplement your lifestyle. Maybe. I mean, yeah, you can put money in your pocket, but I mean, it can be for you buying some over-the-counter stuff or things that your regular medical insurance doesn't cover.
Or you're covering part of your deductible, right? Because a lot of policies nowadays, because insurance has gotten so expensive, right? It helps cover. I see medical insurance, major medical insurance today that has an $8,500 deductible.
It's insane, these deductibles. The average person, I don't understand how they could afford. I'm fortunate with like my HMO plan, being a retired police officer. Like there's no deductible, and I actually go. I actually medically retired, and I go for medicine every 8 weeks. and the medicine would cost $5,000. It's an infusion to prevent basically stomach problems from coming back, and it would cost me $5,000 every 8 weeks, and it cost me maybe $25. But I couldn't even imagine, and I probably had one plan like that back in the day, like paying the first $6,500.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of money to pay. You know, you get the deductible,
your monthly costs,
Yeah.
your deductibles, co-insurance. There's a lot of pieces to major medical, right? And so the supplemental stuff, that's where it comes in. It can help you with those deductibles. It keeps you solid financially, basically.
Especially, I guess the thing is, if you're depending upon your home and how many incomes, right? Like if your wife's working and whoever's working in the family, that extra money can help, right? Pay rent or pay the mortgage or offset. And you never know where you're working, right? If someone like lays you off or improperly, does something, at least you have extra money to cover you. With that being said today, what with the cancer insurance or intensive care, tell me about the cancer insurance, and I have a story about that, but tell me about the cancer supplemental insurance.
So cancer kind of, it's going to be funny. We were talking about the accident covers body parts. With the insurance, or with the cancer, with the cancer policies, it covers you per type of cancer. Okay. So if you get, most of the policies have a big lump sum that they pay you when you are first diagnosed with any kind of cancer, right?
Okay.
$2,000 to $5,000, let's say, somewhere in that range. And then from there, it'll pay you if it's this type of cancer, it pays you this.
So different types of cancer will pay you out a certain amount of money.
Right. And the great thing about one of the cancer products I work with is there's a rider you can add to it. There's a little addition you can add to it that it builds every year for that initial lump sum.
Okay.
So every year you don't use it, it's kind of an incentive. Every year you don't use it, it goes up $200, $300, $400, $500 depending on what you choose. So if you get it young and it builds all of those years, and then something happens when you're a little bit older, you have a pretty significant, and there's a lot of those extra costs that you don't foresee in a situation like that. So like transportation, it has it'll help you with your transportation to a facility. So you don't have a family member that can take you to your cancer treatment. Or from what I understand, there's a lot of the facilities here in Vegas that are very full. They're good at what they do, and people go to them. So so people go to UCLA, or they go to a cancer center outside the Vegas area. Mm-hmm. So it can help offset some of those unforeseen costs also. Got it.
So there was one police officer I worked with in Henderson. He actually did get cancer, and I always remember the insurance agent saying that he basically got the extra coverage and money, and luckily he was able to heal. But it's a good point, because some insurances basically will cover you if you go out of state. And even when I had stomach surgery 10 years ago, I went to UCLA and in Westwood, California, and I guess I didn't have I don't think I had the I don't know if I had the insurance or not, but long story short, the transportation. I mean, luckily I had my parents. We stayed in a motel because I couldn't drive back. The drive from California to Vegas was going to be too much because I was going to have stitches. So I had to stay like a week or two, like in a motel or somewhere. I didn't have a place to stay. So I think the supplemental insurance, for cancer or intensive care or hospital protection, would help in general. I didn't have it at the time. Luckily, my parents were my support system to help me.
Right.
But we did stay. I got to get a hotel for good. I think it was almost 30 days or something like that. Yep. Wanted to make sure that it was okay because I would have to go back to the doctor. So I didn't want to go back and forth. Anyway, we're going to take a quick minute break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about the hospital protection, the intensive care, because I know that's part of the whole supplemental insurance in general like that. And then we'll let people know how they can get in touch with you. And so we'll be back in a quick minute with the problem solver. Thank you.
Activated.
Welcome back to the Problem Solver. We're back for the last segment, getting as much information as possible. We're back here with Jason Reed with Insurance by Red. Again, Jason, we got about 9-10 minutes left. I want to basically just get in some last information. That's great. This is great information in regards to insurance. One thing I want to share as well is that on the app for the, not that this is the best topic, but on the app of the ProblemSolver.Vegas, basically we have a spot that says free will. There's a local law firm that does free wills. Not that we want any family or friend member to basically need a will, but it's good to be prepared, just like having insurance.
Absolutely.
So if someone wants a free will, it is something that the Problem Solver Show basically is working with local law firm to basically help people to do a free will. You can click on it, fill some information, and then one of the attorneys in the network of the Problem Solver basically will call you to set that up for free. With that being said, what is the one of the things that I know that you mentioned you wanted to do, like a free offer to help people that are listening to the show?
Yeah, anybody that contacts me after this show, that watches on the show, I will do a free consultation for you on what type of insurance evaluation, what kind of insurance you do need, or additions to what you already have. I work with a big network of agents that can provide just about anything on the private side or on a small business or major business side. You
mentioned before the show that you were involved in an accident. Has any of the insurance helped you, or have you worked with anybody?
I wish I would have had it with the accident. I missed a few weeks of work.
Okay.
But it was actually before I was in the insurance
Got it.
business, so I wasn't educated on those things either. No one had ever taken the time to educate me. I wish they had.
Got it. And what was it for, a car accident or something?
It was a car accident. I got rear-ended, yeah.
Got it. And is there lost wages?
I didn't. I was a 1099. I was an Uber driver for 3 years here in town, and I got rear-ended while I had a passenger. And thanks to you referring me over to Richard Harris, they were able to take really good care of me.
That's great.
It's been a couple of years, and it's almost completely done. I know they're working on just getting the providers to come down on their rates and so forth, so that we can get it all squared away.
So I'm glad that that's being taken care of in general. So the bottom line is, sometimes you need an attorney, sometimes you need insurance, sometimes you need a will. So
you need a defense, right? You need a defensive wall, and there's parts. There's all kinds of parts to that defense.
What just to share real quickly before we finish up the other topic? What's your phone number? Where's your main office? Or what can people just share information about what people want to meet with you?
I'm actually a home-based business, so my home is my primary office. Okay. But I do have access to a meeting office space at Meadows Mall, up in the north end, at Galleria Mall down in the Henderson area, and then another office off of Rainbow in the Spring Valley area. So. Again, I can service people anywhere. We can do it via Zoom. If you don't want someone coming to your home, if you want me to come to my home, I have access to portable barriers. If you want me to bring a barrier to put it between us during the consultation, I can do that. We can wear masks, whatever it is to make it right for you, so that we can get you taken care of, build that defensive wall.
Got it. Tell us a little bit about, and what's your phone number again, just to recap?
It is 702-781-2466. That's 702-781-2466.
Got it. Jason Reed by Insurance by Red. Tell us real quickly, intensive care supplemental policy or the hospital protection. I kind of mentioned it before. Tell me real quickly about those two.
So again, this is another one I think is a real good stack, right, for some of the other policies. It will pay you, again, I know we talk about how funny it sounds, but it pays you per intensive care item, depending on why you're placed into an intensive care unit. So, prices go way up in the medical field when you have to go into intensive care. And this supplemental insurance, again, it's to build on your defense. It's to build a proper line to protecting you from financial destruction because of a medical bill.
Got it. So anyone that goes into intensive care to help supplement their stay there.
Yeah.
Medical insurance would cover it. Basically, just helps with extra payments.
Yeah.
I guess to offset the experience and
offset the experience.
Right?
And I think you said earlier to help them maintain a lifestyle.
Okay.
That's really that's.
I think anytime that you're involved in any type of crisis situation, extra money, extra income. supplemental income basically coming in, even for a short period of time, would be helpful when you're going through something, because you just don't know the extra expenses that you may have. You know, in general, you can't make a payment for a car or something.
A lot of incidental costs you don't probably even expect.
And the hospital protection, intensive care is like more of the ICU situation, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But with the hospital protection is more just regular hospital. Like anytime that you're in the hospital, like
Yes.
if I break my leg in the hospital for 10 days, it would cover differently.
Yeah, correct. So so the hospital program is the same thing. It's if you get housed in, I think there's a 3-day wait period in there. But if you get housed for more than, say, 3 days in a facility, it starts paying you, and it has different sicknesses, different things it pays different amounts for. But again, if you have a stack, like if you have that, and say you break your leg, and then there's something goes wrong, you have to go into intensive care. Both of those policies are paid. Or say you have the cancer policy in intensive care, and you have to go into intensive care because of something cancer related. Both policies are going to pay you. They're individual type policies.
Got it. All right, so the bottom line is there's all different types of supplemental insurance. If you're getting confused by listening to this stuff in general, I mean, Jason will sit down with you, whether it's Zoom or FaceTime or basically meeting in person or one of his offices. He'll meet with you, basically go over what you basically need to do in order to basically be prepared for the future. God forbid something happens. I appreciate you basically offering the free consultation or an insurance strategy session to basically help them. And again, I mean, I think that people just shouldn't be overwhelmed. And luckily, with your guidance, you could sit down and figure out everyone's differently. And I'm assuming if they came to you and said, "Look, I have $60 a month. Like, what can I do?" Right? Some people are really big with budgets. I mean, I probably should be better with a budget of every single item.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, so if you're like, "Hey, I only have $60 a month to spare to protect me and my family, and I want to have some extra insurance," you know, what can you provide, right?
Yeah.
And then maybe you break it down. Maybe you need a little bit of the accident protection. Maybe you need a little bit of short-term disability, depending upon the situation. Or if my wife's not working, she may not need the short-term disability. But with me, I'm the sole person basically bringing in income. Then basically, I need short-term disability. And again, I think you just got to diversify. Just like you're investing in your future for like retirement, I think you need to basically, you know, invest basically in general for insurance, just to protect yourself. Because I think an accident, and knock on wood for everybody that's listening, but I think you're more likely probably to have an accident or go to the hospital, something happened to you, than probably retirement, which is many years later. So I think that you need to be prepared for all of these things come in the future. Would you agree?
I completely agree. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Technical difficulty.
If you break it, you pay for it. So it's the last minute. You could do it. Don't break anything. I'm joking.
Right. No, yeah. The more you can cover yourself when you get into these situations, the better off you are. But also, you don't want to over budget, right? Like you don't want to be paying for something that's hurting you, your lifestyle. That's not appropriate either. Well, we can sit down and figure that.
Got it. Well, again, I appreciate your time coming on. Again, we have Jason Reed with Insurance by Red. I appreciate all your insight, your passion for helping people solve their problems and also try to protect them so they don't get problems in the future as well. So we're doing a little crime prevention, a little prevention on the Problem Solver Show today. So I appreciate you coming here today.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So basically every single week, you know, we're sitting here solving problems with great people like Jason. So if anybody, your friends or business associates want to come on the show, help solve some problems, please reach out to me at 400-7474, and to any of the viewers and listeners, again, 400-7474 for any problem, 24/7, any issue, any problem, nothing too small, too big. Thanks for watching us today. QR code's on the screen if you want the app. Again, theproblemsolver.vegas. Thanks for watching and listening, and have a great week, and be careful out there.